Started a couple Mac specific things for Logic. There's a program called excuse me, Audio Midi Setup, which I have in the dock, and it may be in the dock in the computers in the lab, and it should be in your dock. The easiest way to do this is to go to the Applications menu, which is Shift Command A will get you there, and then down at the Utilities, I think you can still go Shift Command U to get to Utilities. Look at that, you can Shift Command U, and in Utilities you'll see something called the Audio Midi Setup, and I would just drag that right into your dock. I've already dragged it in, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to launch that, and what this is going to show you is it's going to show you what interfaces and MIDI keyboards you have connected. So right now I can see both windows. There's a window pull-down menu, and you can see audio devices, MIDI Studio, or hide audio devices, hide MIDI Studio. So this is my MIDI Studio, and you can see the ones that are grayed out are the ones that I have had on this computer but are no longer there. So this is my MPK Mini 2 keyboard, which is connected and not grayed out, so you'll see how that works. You can pretty much, well, Bluetooth, and don't worry about that for right now. And then over on the audio devices, for this class, I'm actually going to be using built-in output so you can hear it. But I do have a Babyface Pro connected to this. I have a Mic Plus, which I'm actually speaking into right now. So this will show all my audio devices. And the reason you want to check this before you launch Logic is to make sure, doubly sure that they're actually active and Apple or your Mac is seeing them. So just go Command Q, close that out. Then launch Logic. I have mine down in the dock. And you're going to get, maybe you'll get this window, maybe you won't. So I'll show you how to get that. So right now I'm just going to go Create Empty Project. And I'll go through more of this as we go. And I'm just going to select Software Instrument. And an easy way to tell if I'm doing my if I select Software Instrument, if my keyboard's working correctly, I should now be just able to play it. You can actually hear it. The default is the classic electric piano. So let's talk about how to configure this. So if I go up to Logic Pro X, this will tell you what version if you go about Logic Pro X. So I'm using version 10.4.1. They're all pretty similar with some subtle changes, but Apple's pretty good about keeping it updated, adding new sounds, so you might want to stay on top of that. The lab is not online for obvious reasons, but if you have your own setup, feel free to download the upgrades. Excuse me. So next, you want to go to Preferences. And I'm just going to select General for now. This will take you to the Preference pane. And what the General does is, the first one is it talks about Startup Action. So you have several options here. I always like to keep it on Ask, because that way if you're starting a new project, if you want to open an existing project, I have put the lab default to Ask. People may have changed it, hopefully not. The other thing I want to talk about is audio, which is the next icon over. And I'm going to talk about each of these as the course goes on, so don't fret. And right now, I'm for my output and input device, I've selected built-in output and built-in microphone, just for the sake of this class. But I could switch this to my Babyface Pro. And in the labs, you're going to want to make sure that it's actually showing the Motu or whatever audio interface. So if you're not hearing sound or not getting sound in, first thing you want to do is go up to the Logic Pro X pull-down menu and up here. And then you want to go to Preferences. In this case, you want to go to Audio. And that will show you what your input-output device is. Let's leave the buffer size. I'll be talking more about that and latency and everything else, but just leave all of these as is. The lab should default to it, but if you're not getting sound, that's the place to check. So this is just a quick, easy first tutorial on how to launch Logic, and then I'll pick up from there on the next tutorial.